Hey, my name is Steven and welcome to the Curvy Woodworking channel. In this video I'm going to be making a condensed tutorial on how I put together these guitars. To get us started, we're going to have the body, the neck, and the headstock. So the first step I take when I start a new guitar build is I download a one-to-one image, usually a PDF off of electricheroe.com. I don't care about the design of the guitar as much as I care about the string location and the pickup location. Then I'm going to be using a piece of plywood and I'm going to use that to shape the final design. I want to use a piece of plywood because it's very easy to shape with the sander and I can tweak the design as I see fit so I can make something custom and my own. Now, people think I cut into the final guitar quite a bit, but that's not the case. I actually use a router and that template I just mentioned with a bearing on top, and that allows me to perfectly trace the image that I have on the plywood onto the finished piece of wood. So once I'm done the shaping, usually done by hand using a hand file, and I just do it by eye, how I see fit, how comfortable it is while it's fitting in my hand. I'm going to worry about the electrical components. Now, this part is a little bit risky because you're drilling in through a finished piece of wood. If you're working with a laminate guitar, which you'll see in the next condensed video, it's a little bit easier and you're not risking as much. So now I'm going to be working on the neck. We're going to start by doing a laminated neck. Now you can do a solid piece of wood for the neck, but then you're worried about movements in the wood. So I like to put as many layers as I can and put a glue layer in between all of those layers, and that helps the rigidity so that it minimizes the amount of movement. A very important step that you should look more into detail is the installation of the truss rod, and that actually helps you so that you can adjust the curvature in the event that the tension of the strings will bend that neck in the future. So now I got the rough images cut out. I'm going to be placing it once again on a template that I cut out of a piece of plywood for the same reason I mentioned before. And this is going to give me my final dimensions on that plane. I have to cut the 2-degree slope at the end of the neck, and that's going to actually slide into the slot with the guitar, because if you've ever seen a guitar, there's actually a little slope coming off from the head of that. Once you're doing the neck shaping, you're going to start with the two extremes. You're going to get those to the perfect dimensions, perfectly sanded, and then you're going to be using a Shinto rasp, and you're going to be taking long sweeps back and forth through there, and that's going to ensure that you have a perfect transition when you're feeling it with your hand. Now for the fretboard, this is usually a higher quality piece of wood, and you're going to be using a radius block with a piece of sandpaper to get that final shape in there, because you want it to be slightly bowed in there. I'm also going to be using a Japanese handsaw just to cut in the fret slots, and I'll be doing the fret installation for this particular build at a later time. So I got everything attached now. I just have to drill some holes, and this is going to have the tuners on the end of the guitar. As you can see, we were mentioning before about how I was cutting the 2-degree slope. They should slide perfectly into each other. So I've seen other ones where you can actually bolt it into one another. I do like wedging it with glue. It allows for better reverberations through the guitar, so you can feel the vibration through your hands. You can switch between the type of finish that you use. I used lacquer on my previous couple of builds behind me, along with the one in the video. I would suggest using a oil or a wax finish on the fretboard. It's not against the rules to be using a lacquer finish on the fretboard. I just found a lot of difficulties installing the actual frets at a later time. So this is a condensed version. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to subscribe. If you are thinking about building your own guitar and you want to see how I built this in more detail, I actually have a full tutorial, approximately 20 minutes, if you can tough your way through the entire video. And it's just going to be in the link below in the description. Thanks for watching.